Hi, everybody. So this is kind of an overview of Roundup for anybody who doesn't have Roundup yet. For those of you who have Roundup, maybe it's just a quick refresher, but what's the purpose of the program? How does it work? Are there any limitations? And then what are the gains on those programs? So, you've probably been to the grocery store. You know that they want a Roundup for the local children's hospital or St. Jude's or, some other nonprofit or, good program out there. And some of us have a lot of good programs. But basically what we're doing is we're collecting the change. Now, because it's mostly a non-cash business anymore, we're actually collecting the change from their credit card transactions as well. So if your ticket ends up being, $12.33, you're going to round up so that you're collecting 67 cents for whatever charity you are trying to support. So most of the time, you're going to round up to the nearest whole dollar, or the majority of people do round up to the nearest whole dollar. And what we can do is, because we're going to put a non-inventory item on your sale, you're going to be able to report on these items. So how does it work? At the end of the sale, after all the promotions and discounts and taxes have been applied, but before you take any payments, the user is just going to choose a tender button, and a note that's customized by you is going to pop up and prompt the user to ask for the donation. And this note is just a standard item note. You can do the same things that you do with the current item notes. You can put in bigger fonts, color those fonts. You can even put an image in here. Listen, Community Services happens to be a local program that we have to support those less fortunate in my area. So you can make it so that it's really presentable to the user. When it reminds the user to ask for the Roundup, tells them why, where the money's going to go. So what's going to happen is a Roundup item is going to be added to the ticket, and then there's going to be a prompt. Yes, you want to round up. No, you don't want to round up. And the new version allows you to have up to 5 different responses on the Roundup. It's using the alternate units. And so you can say, yes, round up to the next whole dollar. No, don't round up at all. Or even, yes, round up to the next $5 increment or the next $10 increment. So you can use, you have to use at least 2, but you can use, up to all 5. I have a ticket that comes up and wants to add 7 cents. So it was like $12.93, and it's going to change that ticket to a whole $11.93. It's going to change that ticket to a full $12 amount because that is the yes. And it always does the calculation based on the $1 amount or the whole dollar amount for the yes. And as you go through, it's going to calculate it. So if they say yes, they pick that alternate unit that says yes, and that 7 cents is going to stay on the sale. If they say no, then that 7 cents item is going to be removed from the sale. And once that response has been entered by the user, then you're going to tender out the sale as normal. So what else is going to happen with this? Well, you're going to go through your day, you're going to be collecting this money, you're going to post your sales, and we want to be able to run reports on these items. So you can run reports for the amount collected that are using the Roundup item as you would for any other item. I've got 2 report examples where I have my Roundup item collected $6.82 in this time period. Found cash was $8.72. But I have a total of $15.54, and that's across all the stores. Well, maybe I really wanted to know which store is doing a better job of rounding up. And in this case, my store 402 is doing a much better job of collecting money than my store 401. So maybe I need to do more user training. Maybe I need to talk to the manager to try and get them to prompt the user better to ask for that roundup amount. But you can, again, it's just like normal reporting at this point. I haven't done anything special. So what are the limitations? You can only collect for one cause at a time. So when I do the roundup, I can't choose between more than, 5 different causes or 2 different causes. And at one point, I can only collect for one cause. So if this month you're collecting for the local animal shelter, that's what you're going to put in your item note, is that I'm collecting for the local animal shelter. Next month, maybe I'm collecting for free books to the first graders in the local public school to get their reading going. You can tell I'm a big reader here. And the other piece is, no matter what are the customizations you have to make the roundup the last action on the sale. So what do you gain from this?
Is this my part, Diane?
This is your part, Ariel.
Yay, thanks so much for letting me join the webinar. And actually, I'm really excited about the Roundup mod because it really helps your business to do some things selfishly and selflessly. So you're really going to gain a few things here by participating in Roundup. You're, one, going to raise money for a good cause, even if it's only rounding up change. I mean, who here has a change jar? I do. I put all my spare change in that, and it really adds up. When you go to the Coinstar and you cash it in, you end up with $60 or $150 after a few months. You realize, like, hey, I can go get my nails done or go get a facial or something. It's nice stuff. So you're going to raise money for a good cause. You really have an opportunity to get your employees bought into the programs that you support. So it's really creating more of a culture around generosity, and that really contributes to your brand and how people perceive your brand. So beyond just having employee buy-in, you're humanizing your brand to your customers as well. And I've found that that increases customer loyalty. So when I go, and Diane, I'm glad you put the Listen Center in there because I'm a frequent shopper there. They do all kinds of things for our community. They have a food pantry, they have a dining hall, they do, we're in New England and it's really cold here, so people in the community that can't afford oil to heat their homes, they provide money for that. They provide rental assistance, summer camp scholarships. So I know when I go there and I round up my money, it's going right back into the community, and that's what keeps me going back over and over and over. So it's really cemented my relationship with that organization to the point where I'm even volunteering my time there to help them raise more money and do more in the community. So it's humanizing your brand and instilling loyalty with your customers and creating a better bond there. The cool thing about Roundup is if your organization is already a nonprofit, you can raise money directly for your own programs. If you're not-for-profit organization, Diane listed several great options, and you can pick different programs and different organizations each month or each quarter or each year and update that pop-up note accordingly. And what I really love is that you really can show your customers and your employees, like I said, just your values for your organization, your heart, and what's important to you. And that's really where you get that traction with people buying in and being sold out for your business, totally engaged, team players, excited to be part of it and to help the community. Additionally, you can get your employees excited by creating incentive programs and rewards. So, you know, the store that does the highest percentage of rounded up donations or the highest dollar amount could get a pizza party or something cool like that, or like an extra paid day off. If you want to go buy individual cashier, you can track those metrics as well, and then use that as a training tool, as Diane mentioned. If someone's really has a lower percentage or a lower dollar amount of Roundup, you can use an example of maybe a store that's doing a better job or a cashier that's doing a better job, find out what they're doing, and then replicate that across your locations and in a training program with your other cashiers.
So Ariel, do you have any kind of anecdotal information on how much somebody could collect through Roundup change? I mean, I know personally, as you say, your change star is about $60. When you're collecting across, you know, all of the customers that come through your store, I mean, you're collecting in the thousands of dollars now, right?
We're talking about, yes. So I have some statistics from a customer who I will not name, and they were able to share with me that they're doing about $600 a month at each location on average in Roundup donations. So if you multiply that out across the number of stores they have, that's over $19,000 per month. And that's all going directly to their programming, which is, I mean, that's amazing, just spare change going to $19,000 a month. And of course, the larger your organization or the more compelling your message, the more loyal your customers are, those numbers are going to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, those are huge numbers. That's great. Do you have any statistics on like upgrading? Do you have a customer that has used the old Roundup and then went to the new Roundup, and what have they seen?
Yeah, so you know, there was like a switch from Q2 to Q3, and it was an incremental increase. I think it was about 5%, but that's still any percentage above what they were pulling in, and across all those locations is definitely considered a pretty big increase.
And we would say that's mostly due to the pop-up, just kind of as a reminder.
Due to the pop-up, because then people know what to say. They don't have to feel uncomfortable. And in addition to increasing what you're bringing in for donations and increasing the customer's comfort level with donating, you're also making your employees feel comfortable and safe asking for money instead of having to come up with what they have to say or feeling flustered when they don't know how to respond to the question about what programs they're supporting. Really a good way to just create a streamlined, comfortable experience at the checkout.
Great. I have one more question here. So I understand that you're donating to one cause, and is that per location or per company? Like, could you have different locations donating to different causes, or?
I actually looked into that before this meeting, and I put it as a feature suggestion for maybe a future version, but right now it's per company. So yeah, because the pop-up note, well, if you think about it, it's going to be, all the money is going to be collected under one item. But let's say that the stores are different. You could potentially have a different pop-up note. I haven't checked on that one per store, but let's just say it's per company right now. I could do a little bit more testing. But it doesn't have to be like for the whole year. I have a grocery store in this area that once a month or once a quarter, they pick a not-for-profit program that they want to support. And then for those 3 months, they collect all the change. They round up all their change for those 3 months. But, you know, the second quarter or the following quarter, they're rounding up for a different not-for-profit, you know, program.
Great. Yeah, that keeps it fresh, and you can also see what people want to support and kind of compare that year over year.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Diane.
Everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Have a great day.